everybody. Hello, hello, hello. The portion of Vaera. We know that the book of Shmot, as the first parasha, that's what we read last week, talking about the Israelite leaving or want to leave Egypt, and Moses and Aaron negotiating with Pharaoh to do it. So for that reason, kind of weird story, Moses, in the name of God, come up with the 7 plagues, convincing of Pharaoh. Meaning, it's kind of tough story to read. I mean, Moses is hitting the country of Egypt and Pharaoh with all kind of plagues, and then we expect Pharaoh to let them go. And normally, that should be the case. I mean, most of us, if something is not going the right way, we're going to change that lane. If you have routes with construction or some problem, you're going to choose the other routes. But it doesn't seem to be with Pharaoh. You get beat up by the blood, by the frog, by the lice, by the leprosy, everything that they get hit by, any plague, he just say, okay, you all can leave my country. And then he go back to his old behavior. The question, what can we learn from it? I mean, we're not reading the parasha, the section, just because we're reading it. There is a message for us. And I think there is a dark side in the human nature, which is almost addicted to drama, addicted to chaos, addicted to it's gotta be bad before it's become good. And we are inviting plagues on ourselves. So Pharaoh, in the story, is us, but also Moses is us in this week parasha. Also the people are us. So you gotta choose and read the story at home and find out where are you in the story and where you behave like Pharaoh. Because the whole idea of Pharaoh is being stubborn to hold on to misery. Can you hear something like that? To hold on to your misery? Nobody wants misery. Surprise. Sometimes for being right, for the need to be right, for the need to tell what we call the fake truth. The reason I call it the fake truth, it's been truth that doesn't benefit anybody. In the end, it's fake truth. Which means, what are you telling me the truth? If you go to a person and say, hey, I think you gotta lose weight, now you have to come up with a solution. But if you just say, you gotta lose weight, what's your point with that? Your point is only to look that you're smart, or you know better, or you want attention from the people to know that you know better. The misery don't want to stay with you. Any type of misery you have, want to live. The one who hold on to the misery is us. We are holding on. We are not letting go of the problem. The question is why? What is the benefit within the problem? What is the benefit within being sick? What is the benefit for being sad? What is the benefit for being not successful, and talk about all the other people who stole the money? And I think, if I may say it, that human being, as it's told in many, many books by Louise Hay, by Think and Grow Rich, by Dale Carnegie, by the book The Secret, we are drawing negativity more than we are drawing positivity. We are like almost saying, all right, let me prepare for the storm and then expect the storm to come. What if you prepare for the storm but the storm not coming? What are you doing? Ask the people in Florida, they will tell you. They're buying all the plywood and they're buying all the water and all this and that. And no hurricane. No hurricane. Can you imagine? So you want the hurricane to come? What's wrong? Or a woman is afraid that she's about to get married, but the man will cheat on her. Or the opposite for men. What if it's never happened? I hope you're happy about it, right? So Pharaoh basically get beat up for being in that negative environment. And then would Moses say, okay, let's shake hands after a week. You suffer, no water in Egypt, no shower, everything turned into blood, frog war everywhere. Let my people go, he said. Let them go already. Even his magician, the Khartoumim, say the famous verse to Pharaoh, they say, Aterem teda ki nafla Mitzrayim. Don't you know by now that Egypt fell? That's what the magician tell Pharaoh. Which means, why are you holding on to those people if they bring you chaos? This week, my friend, is the week that you choose the men from the boys, the women from the girls. I see many people looking to be honest, looking to the truth, right? I mean, what was it, the Golden Globe it's called? What's the name of that show? Golden Globe? Everybody, yesterday. The power of the women. Power of the women. I love it. So somebody called me today early morning. I had a meeting. He's in the industry of Hollywood. So he said, Eliyahu, what do you think about the power of the women? Yeah. I said, well, you're a man. I can say the truth, you know. He started laughing. That's the first thing he did. He started laughing. He said, no, seriously, what do you think? I said, I think women, men have to be respected equally. I agree. But we need to understand the nature of spirituality of it. I mean, what produced the sperm, what produced the eggs. There is a way of how the universe was operating, and we have to go by that. But to say that now, because the women are being abused, so now we give all the power to the woman. You don't give the power to a person after being abused, and now you put him a president. You know, it's not like in the Bible when Joshua cleaned the tent of Moses, and because of that become the president of Israel. I mean, so you want to tell me somebody who's going to clean the White House, he's going to be the next president. We got a problem with that. So you can't, because of mercy on something or someone, electing them into the next leader. You know, there is a problem in this country. And I have to say it loud and clear. We like underdog. We love underdog. And I don't know why they call it underdog. I have no idea where they came from. Underdog. Where does it come from, underdog? Nobody knows. All the American crowd I have here, nobody knows where underdog came from. So, what is that? What is that? I mean, you have to have a person who's fit for the job. You don't fit, do something else. Clean the White House. You don't have to be the president. So the idea is, all this parasha, Pharaoh is the president of Egypt, right? He got beat up 7 times, really bad, by Moses and Aaron, who actually don't want to stay there. They don't even want to give him the plagues. They want to leave. The parasha says something else. Vayechbad Hashem et lev Paro. God make Pharaoh heart heavy. And because of that, he couldn't let them go. Tell us the Zohar, the Ari. Pharaoh reached a point when he was ready to let them go. But he has a force within him who not allowing him to let them go. What do we call that force? Ego. Sometimes you know you're wrong, but you can't admit that you're wrong. So stupid. And you suffer. Just admit you're wrong and forget about it. If your life, you get used to something for 28 years and it's bad, it's time to leave it. You don't have to hold on to it. You don't have to hold on to something which is bad. Because if you hold on to something which is bad, it's a curse. If it's curse, it's over. You don't have to keep saying, it's going to be one day okay. Not okay. Change your path. And I know that for most of us, the change, difficult thing, very difficult. Most people are rather complain or being a victim, scream and yell, but there is no change. There is no change. And in our country right now, and I think it's globally, we need to think change. We need to think, okay, this path is not going well. If you're betting on the wrong horse for 2,000 years, don't hate the horse. Don't hate the person who takes the money away from you. Don't even hate yourself. Just do something about it. It's not working. So what are you going to do? Sit there like Pharaoh and say, I'm not letting those people go. 400 years, man. It's over. They're leaving. So you're going to get beat up. Now what hold you from letting them go? That's stupid ego. Stupid ego. Your heart become heavy, say. How do you say liver in Hebrew? Kaved. Kaved. Kaved means heavy, which means his heart turned into a liver. What's the difference between a liver and a heart? Full of blood. What is the difference with the heart? There is pump, empty, full. Empty, full. Because the heart has the two inclinations, good one and bad one. The liver, the core of all sin and crime, is the liver. It's a selfish desire. So Pharaoh couldn't control his evil inclination anymore. That's, my friend, a lesson. When we behave bad, we're losing one important thing. We're losing the free will. Pharaoh didn't have a free will anymore. Sad. So why would he punish? He wasn't punished for what he did after. He was punished for what happened before. Most people think that they're punished for what they're doing right now. But there is something you did before. So when you have gone through a bad time, those bad times are the best time for you. Because those bad times say, hey, Eliyahu, left. Okay, so how God will tell you to go left? He create a problem on your right, so you move left. How is God going to make you move right? Go left. Those are the plagues. And if people don't getting it right, and it can change. It can change. You can't change people. And that's why I always said, stop choosing underdog to be a leader. Underdog need mercy from us. Mercy. You need to have mercy on people who suffer. You need to have mercy on people. But it doesn't mean that you're going to put them as the leader. Everybody who suffer, you from now on become a leader. How can that be? That's stupid. That's stupid. Don't you ask yourself a question, why they suffer? How did they came up to that situation? Leaders need to be fit to be a leader. If they're not fit, I don't care how much suffering they went through, and there is a vision of humanity. 7 billion people thinking like this, not just United States of America. 7 billion people think this person suffered, now let's elect him into a president. Get out of that dream. Because if you're sitting in this dream, you're going to elect a person who's not fit for the job, not just for president, for any leadership skills, and then we're running into a more problem. And then when we run into more problem, the one who suffered the most will be the next president. What a vicious cycle. What a catch-22. Moses and Aaron come to Pharaoh. Come to the people of Egypt, challenging Pharaoh. Put all the plagues there. Wake the people up. And say, doesn't mean because you suffer, you now need to be rewarded. It's how you behave when you suffer count. It's not if you suffer or if you don't. Sorry I'm talking long. Usually I get right into the job, but it was important after I was watching the what is it called, Golden Globe? Golden Globe, and all. If I could talk freely, I would talk. And I can't stand people electing people who suffer into a leader. The people who suffer has to be giving money to, has to be giving food, direction, psychiatrists, psychologists, everything they need. But don't put them as a leader. They're not meant to be a leader. They suffer, they're going through some tough time. So now is the reward, you're going to make them a leader? So everybody feel empathy for them. Oh my God, I feel your pain. I want to have somebody on the top I can feel the pain for. It doesn't work like that, guys. Learn it from sport. Sport, the three-point shooter or the quarterback is not the person who's underdog. They're the best for the team. That's why they're in this position. Moses and Aaron, the best for the team. But people want to put Moses and Aaron as an underdog. People want to put Jesus as underdog. People want to put Muhammad as underdog. Why don't you read some history? And after you read history, you will see none of them will ever have been underdog. I know you want to put it like that because it's very good for the church, for the mosque or the synagogue. It will never happen. Your story, whoever they tell you, about underdog leader never happened, guys. Never happened. And whoever fool you, it's about time you study. Go to Google, it's beautiful, you type, and you read the beginning of their life and exactly what happened. A business is a person who want to feel for the ego that he donate to some miserable causes. That's why now there is more money being raised for dog than for children in Africa. I can't take it. I just can't take that. That's why I start with that. There's children who can't have food. And now you do advertising on CNN for dogs and cats. I want that money to go to children who have no food. I want that money to go to people who have no place to live. What about them? Human. They have some logic. So now whoever gonna watch it is gonna hate me for speaking bad about dog or cat. I'm for humanity. If humanity is good, let me hear about the giraffe. I would like to hear about the giraffe. All right, is the giraffe okay? Is there a neck problem? Need some chiropractor? Humanity. I'm taking care of humanity. Then we talk about giraffe or the shark or what happened with the whale. Once humanity, we take care of each other. Then we talk about love. Then we talk about unity. Then we talk about how to take care of each other. That's what it's all about, friend. And don't lose the focus. We are here to take care of 7 billion people. Messiah coming when we getting along. We have to get along. Okay, let's go to the Zohar now. Sorry if I was too strong here. Anyway, the first subject, you will believe, and then you shall see. The Zohar talking about a very simple section from the Zohar, and I'm going to explain why we talk about it in this week portion. Who's reading? You. You read? You can see from there?
Rabbi Elazar said, "May the spirit expire of those who say that the Holy One, blessed be He, will not resurrect the dead, because it is not possible that He could make a new creature of them. Let these wicked, foolish people, who are far from Torah and far from the Holy One, blessed be He, see that Aaron had in his hands a rod, dry wood, which the Holy One, blessed be He, turned temporarily into a creature. That is, it changed in spirit and body. The Holy One, blessed be He, concealed in the dust those bodies that already had holy spirits and souls, observed the precepts of the Torah, and were occupied with Torah days and nights. At the time when the world will rejoice, meaning after the end of correction, how much more so will the Holy One, blessed be He, make them new creatures?"
Continue.
Rabbi Chia said, "Not only this, but that body that previously existed will rise. This is understood from the words, 'Your dead will again live.' It is not written, 'Will He create?' So it means that they were already created before, but they only need to come alive again. One bone will remain from the body under the earth, and that bone never rots or disappears in the dust. At that time, the Holy One, blessed be He, will soften it and make it like leaven in the dough, and it will rise and spread to 4 corners, and the body and all its limbs will be completed from it. Afterwards, the Holy One, blessed be He, will put the Spirit into it." Rabbi Elazar said to him, "It is so. Come and see. This bone is softened with dew, as written, 'For the dew of lights is your dew.'"
I'm going to ask you a fair question, guys, here. Everybody. Do you believe in that? Question. Do you believe in that? This is a story. I mean, I'm scared not to believe. I tell you why. Look at the first verse. What does it say in the first verse? Rabbi Elazar say, "May the spirit expire of those who say that the Holy One, blessed be He, will not." So what's going on? That means it's a serious subject. We are standing in front of a serious subject. So one of it's called 13 Ikarim, 13 idea that a human need to believe in. You have 13 things you need to believe in. That's one of them. One of them that you must believe in, that resurrection will come. It's heavy. Resurrection will come. Can you imagine those of you who know New York, in the LIE, you have 2 big cemeteries there. Resurrection is arrived. We're talking about like resurrection, meaning dead, nothing there. But what are we? What are we? Skin, bones, muscles, nerve, consciousness of soul. What make a drive? Unfortunately, sometimes we forget that this all drive is because the Creator turn it on in the morning. On, off, on, off. That's it. So the ego, sometimes of people talk, I did that. Well, we're going to go summer to Caprice, and I'm sending my son to college, and Send, what is it? This is it. This is like, as the Hindu believe, you prepare for death. You know, they prepare for death every day. Because they believe the life is a preparation for the life after death. That's actually what life is about. You just prepare every day. Because death, it's a goal, it's happening. Where life, it's a momentarily. But death, you see the cemetery there, 1,000 years, same place, nothing happened. Abraham, 4,000 years, nothing going on. That's a solid thing, that's a proof. But life, 100 years, 120, okay, 190. Bravo, nothing. You know, it's been nothing compared to 4,000 years. Why is in this week parasha? Why this week? When you read about the plagues, it's difficult to understand that the staff or a stick will do such a miracle. It's just a piece of wood, just a piece of a dry wood, nothing. How can you do it like that? And the point we forget, that everything around us, everything, not a little bit, everything around us can be resurrected, can be alive. Everything, not just human being. Like when you see a situation around you in your life that is not working the way you want it to work, it can be changed. But you have to bring the light into it. You have to bring the light into it. You know, it's, I don't know how many of you are a fan of music, you know, so there is a famous guitar player, what's going on, Eric Clapton, forgive me. So it was what you heard about Eric Clapton from Cream, okay. So there is another band, if you know Beatles, yeah, Beatles, Eric Clapton. So one time Eric Clapton heard one of the pieces Paul McCartney play. So he worked on it for many months. You should read the story, it's a beautiful story. And he worked on that. And after he met with them, he said, I think I got it right this time. So John Lennon did, and he played it for them. And they were shocked how he did that. And he looked at them, why are you so shocked? You wrote the music. He said, yes, Eric, we did it with 2 guitars. What this piece is with 2 guitars. He said, that's why I was going crazy. I didn't know how you guys did it. So he has to practice for 3 months to make it right. So the conversation was there, and they say, you know, how can you get that performance from 1 guitar, what we couldn't get? We only could get it from 2 guitars. This is just a story of music. But the same thing is, there is something in your life right now that you think you reached the limit. Can somebody else come and take where you left it off into the next level? I think there is a chance like that. Resurrection of the dead is not just a code about people dead or coming back to life. It's area in your life when you think, that's the bottom line, that's as far as I can go. There is so much more. There is way more. Just when you think you hit the top, the ceiling, there is another ceiling coming. But when you are killing yourself, and what does that mean, killing yourself? Killing yourself is when you give up. You don't believe there is more to it. Person is buried, can be resurrected. Stuff which is dry can be create miracle, everything around you. So what changed? What are you thinking? What are you expecting from your life? What are you expecting from your life to be? You're expecting from your life to be. Listen, it's random, it's whatever it is, can't help it. I have to suffer so people can love me. What happens when you suffer and people know you suffer? Everybody come to you. Since you're a child, you're sick, your parents come to see you. We have the tradition of underdog addiction. I love it, it's underdog addiction. You know, somebody is miserable, now let's take care of him. So what happened? It's become addiction. What's addiction? If I would be miserable, everybody would take care of me. There is another way to do it. There is another way. Another way. Be a winner. Things are to get attention by winning your evil inclination, by winning something, by believing in something. Go to that direction. That direction will be the direction to go on. Don't go in the direction that, well, at least if I'm not going to make it, I'm going to look for some attention. That's not Tchiyat HaMetim. That's not immortality. Immortality is when you are looking to activating the area of your life which is already dead. And that's why it's in this week's parasha. That's why it's in this week's parasha. Blood from water. Wow. When the Israelites come to drink from the Nile, water. Egyptian, blood. Frog, know what they're supposed to be doing. Wow. Lice, they know exactly who to go to. Wow. Leprosy, they know exactly. It's unbelievable. Just unbelievable. Everything is alive around us. Do you walk around your life? Everything is alive. Everything is alive. Everything is alive. And you think that you reach to the highest performance of your surrounding? Is your surrounding perform perfect as you wish, or as it's supposed to, or as it is reach all the potential possible? I remember one time I was studying from a chef, and that chef was it's called decorating chef. Decorating chefs are professional. They take many knives and they can do all kind of creation from watermelon, melon, ice, even chicken, all kind of things they can do with that. And I couldn't believe how that guy, French guy, how he did thing. You know, I had to sit next to him, just teach me one thing. I just can't take it anymore. You start somewhere and then it all come back to life. Whatever you touch come back to life. And that's the words we should use from now on. How do I bring everything back to life? Back to life, resurrected, back to life, back to life, back to life. I remember one of my lecture I had to give in Florida. It was 2 ministers, 1 Hindu, 2 rabbi and myself, and a music performer. So we had to take care of 250 kids. We had a program called Spiritual Friday. We come on Friday and we make the kids activity. The psychiatrist who taking care of the entire of this always get angry. This kid's not good, this kid's not good, this kid's not good. And we always at the meeting and we don't know what to do, you know. We want to bring them up. But the kids have to go by the rules, 12 step, I don't know if you know everything about it. And the kids was depressed. And when the kids were with us, the first hour they look like that. We sit with them for 4 hours. After the second hour, they're with us. They're dancing with us, the music. They answer questions, they cry, they talk about the problem. So one of the minister, he used to laugh at my style because every time I come, I wear a hat, jeans, cool T-shirt, and I come and play with them. And say, Eliyahu, you're resurrecting them. I said, no, can you stop with that word? Say, no, that's what it's called. You resurrect the kids. And we would laugh together. We had a good time. It was such a I miss it so much because we had all religion together and for the purpose of making the kids making it. And my friend, there's 2 things we got to do this week. Resurrect your surrounding and resurrect yourself. Reach to another potential, please. You're going to discover how great you are. You will be shocked. There's so much more you can do. So much more you can do. And do me a favor when you drive, look around you. Look at the window if there is traffic. And look at the people when they're alone in the car. There's nothing going on. You're looking at dead people. People who die, million, die. They just still, their hearts still function, but they die. Died a long time ago. Died 20 years ago. You're looking at them. 1 word can resurrect them. 1 word here can resurrect them. Something. Sometimes in a restaurant. You ever go to a restaurant when there is 2 big newspaper and in between there is cappuccino and a hand that reaching out to the coffee? And both of them have a ring. You ever see that kind of scene? From time to time the paper goes this way. And the waitress has to go around this paper for the order, around this paper for the other order. And the paper then go back. They died a long time ago. Are we helping them to be resurrected? We're not. Dry wood can make all this miracle. So that's what Rabbi Elazar said. And I just love it, even if it's tough. As Rabbi Elazar said, may the spirit expire. Meaning, those people don't need to be alive. Those who don't believe it's possible, if you lost your belief that everything around you can be resurrected, you're not belonging here. You're wasting time. You're wasting basically time. Anyway, talking about time, as time is everything, I'd like to take you to another section. Ready?
Yep.
Here we go.
Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Chia were traveling on the road. Rabbi Chia said, when they are on the road, the friends have to travel with one heart. And if it happens that either wicked of the world or people who are not of the king's palace should walk among them, they must separate from them. Whence do we know this? From Caleb, for it is written, but my servant Caleb, because he had another spirit with him and followed me fully. What is another spirit? It is that he separated from the spies, as is written, and they ascended to the Negev, and he came to Hebron. It should have said, and they came, in plural. But he separated from the spies, and he alone came to Hebron, to prostrate himself on the graves of the patriarchs. Therefore it is said about him, and he came to Hebron in the singular.
This is continue for what we spoke before, meaning now you want to resurrect some people. Now you want to motivate people. Now you want to give them some life. Be careful. Why you have to be careful? When Caleb, and I'm sure all of you know the story, but I will repeat it for you. Caleb was one of the 12 spies. He realized that the surrounding is negative. Those people are not a believer. Those people don't want a resurrection. Those people just want negativity. He said, oh my God, I'm going to get affected by that. I'm going to be a dead person like them, Chas v'shalom, God forbid. How dangerous it is. So your surrounding is important to your resurrection. To whatever project that you want to accomplish depends a lot on the people around you. So if the people around you are not in the same spirit of motivation and this, you, without even knowing it, slowly will have to attend. You have to commit together with them into a lower level. So your choice of people around you are quite important. If you want to create something powerful in your life, include business, include love life, include choices. Unfortunately, we get attached to, just okay, just forget about it. I have my life, I have my home, No, there is so much more. There is so much more out there for you. But who are you surrounding yourself with? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Caleb realized he has to get out. And where he went? Hebron. Why Hebron? Who was buried in Hebron? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So he went there to connect to who? To connect to people that never stop. To connect to people that never die. People think they die. They never die. They're waiting. Why are they waiting under the grave? They're waiting for some people to wake up. Not for us to wake them up. They're waiting for us to wake up, the other way around. We think the person in the grave, the tzaddik in the grave, the righteous in the grave is dead. He's alive. Say, guys, what's going on? What take you so long? 4,000 years, nobody wake up. So Caleb went, say, I'm falling asleep. He felt he's losing his soul. Those people are negative. Went to them and said, please help. Please, I'm begging you to help me. Begging you to help me. This is a very important lesson in this. And it continues, please.
Hebron was given to him as a portion and inheritance to strengthen himself with, as is written, and to him shall I give the land that he has trodden upon. He asks, why was Hebron given to him? It is because he prostrated himself there on the graves of the patriarchs to be delivered from the plans of the spies, and he was delivered. It is not so.
So if we talk about the land of Hebron, it belongs to Caleb, to the tribe of Caleb. Now, it's tremendous. Your action, do you value your action? Do you value your spiritual action? Do you value your thought of spirituality? Do you value your words of spirituality? Do you know what you're getting way more than what the little thing you're doing? If you're doing something 100%, it's 200% value. Always double, way more even. You have value for your action. It's not a joke. When you go and believe that you want to get out of that bad team and you want to resurrect yourself and you go somewhere, not only that you get what you want, that place is yours. Now think about it. Every place you go, it doesn't have to be in Eretz Israel, it doesn't have to be in Israel. When you go to work, when you drive, when you see somebody on the road who need help and you're helping them, or you make them believe in something, or you make them believe in themselves. In that area, you own that area, that's your area. That's where very powerful thing will happen to you. We need to start to believe, guys, that whatever you resurrect, hold on, not just for now, for the next generation. What's that?
We have a question.
Yes, the question.
How do you balance sharing, lifting people up, but at the same time not to surround yourself with people who bring you down?
Great question. Great question. Great question. How do you resurrect the people, but then don't disappear in the crowd? That's what they're asking, right? Don't disappear in the crowd. Well, that's the balance. That's the tough balance. You know, your initiation has to be, how can I resurrect everybody? But got to be careful to see how strong you are. Because if the crowd is negative crowd, stay away. Like Caleb did, he ran away. Caleb ran away, say, I can't do it. I got to go to Hebron, get my battery, change, and then come back so I can handle that. Because Joshua, if you remember the story, Joshua get the blessing from Moses, so he was set, he was protected. Caleb didn't get the blessing from Moses. Now, so I'm naked, where am I going? He went to Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, hugged the grave and said, oh, I'm losing it. And he get the help. So if people have family member, or I tell you a personal story, you know, without insulting my parents. When I was young, I'm still young, but when I was 15, I said to my mom, I want to buy a guitar. Guitar? So my mom said, why do you need a guitar with a terrible voice like you? So I went to my father, said, guitar, too much money. So I went to work, young age, any job, whatever they give me. I make some money and I bought a guitar. It didn't end there. So of course, as you walk with the guitar, how much this cost you? I said, I pay for my own money, you know, I want a guitar. Was never motivation about ever playing many years later. And I play after that, I play with group. Many years later, I think it was here in LA, my son Michael was born. And my father, my mother were here. And I played the guitar. And my father said, very nice. So my wife seen me cry. So why are you crying? I said, I never heard nice guitar and voice together, never came together. So sometimes you will surround yourself by people who don't believe in you. They will diminish your ability to resurrect yourself. Stay away, run for your life. Can't. Now what if it's your parents, like my case? Some people born into a parents, who, it's not that they don't love you. They just don't believe that's the way to go. I give you another story now. Somebody who played this Saturday night, hopefully I will go see his show, and you all, if you're in LA, you should go see his show. It's a tremendous story, and I hope that if you see me there, I will introduce you to him. Maury, his name is Maury. Maury, if you check him on Google, was what do you call it, like a regular businessman, stock market, I don't know what you call it, super successful, one of the top names. In age 40 or something like this, I don't want to say his age, he decided that he's going to become a piano player. So I sat with him, I had the privilege to talk to him. I said, piano? This is it? And he come and asked me. And me, being negative on purpose to see if his dream is for real, he sit with me. And at that moment, he was surrounded by all the most beautiful models and girls in the world. And he chose me to sit next to him. He said, I want to talk to you. I said, yes. Say, I want to change my career, piano. I said to him, and I had only 10 minutes with him. I said to him, piano? You're a businessman. You are one of the top guys in New York. Piano. You know, it doesn't go. Those of you who know New York, stuck by it. Piano. Go home, play piano. He said to me, you sound like my father. And then I changed my mind. I said, what's your father? So when I was young, he told me the story. So to my father, I want to play piano. Piano? How are you going to make a living with piano? His father told him. I said, Father, but that's my passion. No piano. It's from Flatbush, if you know, Brooklyn. No piano here. We go to work. We go. And he works so hard with his father. It's a beautiful story. He has a beautiful story. He made enough money, as he told me. And he started doing the piano. And this guy now traveling all over the world. And it's a special show. He called the show Mind Travel. It's a unique spiritual show where he plays on the piano. Why am I sharing this with you? Sometimes your father and your mother mean well. They want the best for you. But they want the best for you for that moment, for survival, because they're afraid before they die that you'll have no money to have or food. So they want to make sure you will be okay. But if you be strong enough to resurrect yourself, do it. So you can be dwell on the community or society. Because I see a lot of people lately who are going on a spiritual journey, they come broken and they expect the spiritual journey to fix them. Spiritual journey is an herb, add to your personality. So if you're broken, a lot of times the spiritual journey will not make you better. It can make you worse, Chas v'Shalom. And that's why you see all those cult situation lately. What is a cult? They take a broken person and promise him tomorrow will be okay. Then the person stayed there for 25 years until he died. That's it. That was the spiritual journey. Spiritual journey means that you become spiritual, but you have to build your foundation. That's why I believe in psychology. I believe in spirituality. I believe in nutrition. I believe in sport. You have to have under that umbrella everything. You cannot have just spirituality. If you have some mental issue, you got to fix it. Fix it, add some spirituality. Now you cannot, okay, I'm totally nuts, crazy, everything wrong, 510 pounds, I don't care, spirituality. Right? And it's not medicine. No, you got to add more ingredients. So your surrounding has to be chosen very well. Because if your surrounding is not believing in you, you have to be strong enough in the surrounding or leave for the while. And I left my home, by the way. I left my home to live in a kibbutz because it wasn't contributing to my existence. And even to where I left was worse condition than where I live. I needed to build myself. The gift was to build myself, to resurrect who I was, or to resurrect what I think I was. So all of us, we have to start thinking like that. Anyway, can we continue with that?
He answers, I heard the secret meaning of this matter is similar to the words David inquired of Hashem, saying, shall I go up into any of the cities of Judah? And Hashem said to him, go up. And David said, where shall I go up? And he said to Hebron. Here we have to reflect. Since Saul was already dead, and David was anointed to receive the kingship, even during the days of Saul, if so, why was David not made king if Saul had died? And why did not he receive the reign over all the children of Israel, but came to Hebron and received the reign over Judah alone for 7 years? And he tarried there all those 7 years. Only after the death of Ishbosheth did he receive the reign over Israel in Jerusalem.
I think it's a fair question. It was his time to rule. He didn't rule. He stayed in Hebron for 7 years. 7 years, guys. 7 years. Are you ready to wait that much for yourself to be found, for yourself to be resurrected, for your kingdom to be called on your name? Or you think, okay, what can I do? No, it is not what can I do. You have a mission. You have a goal in your life. It's a very serious goal. And if you don't take that goal seriously, you're missing your whole existence. David knows he's the king, but he never forget to ask the question. When you're king, you don't ask many questions. What made King David king? He was able to say, all right, is it the time? Is it the place? Or shall I wait? Why did he ask God? God make you the king. Go. And that's what makes him such a beautiful soul. Are you asking the question when you're sure or when you're not sure? Most people, of course, ask the question when they're not sure, obviously. But when you're sure, there is so much more you can discover. So resurrecting yourself is also another ingredient to it, being humble. Being humble, not to know it all, attitude. I don't know everything. I'm the king, but I don't know everything. Back off. And then God will come and guide you to the right direction. And it's a Yehuda, because we say that Caleb come from Yehuda, from the tribe of Judah. King David come from the tribe of Judah. They both are in Hebron. And we continue, Debbie.
He answers, but it is all a secret before the Holy One, blessed be He. Come and see. The holy Malchut of above did not receive the light of Malchut completely until she joined with the patriarchs, who are Chesed, Vaera, and Tiferet, that are from the chest up of Zeanpin. When she joined with them, she was built a complete edifice from the higher world, which is Binah. And the upper world is called 7 years, because all the 7 Sfirot, Chesed, Vaera, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod Yesod, and Malchut are included in it.
So it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's not. How many Sfirot we have in the end? 7. So King David has to build himself to get to Malchut, because Malchut in Hebrew means kingdom. Melech in Hebrew means king. The king, to get the kingdom, has to go to 7 levels or 7 years. So you have to be 7 years where? In Hebron. What does the word Hebron stand for? Chibur. Chibur means connection. Connection to what? Connection to the Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You need those 3 column systems to build your kingdom. So King David know, and that's why we sing David Melech Israel Chai V'Kayam. We say King David live forever. Why we sing? It's the only one that we dance. David Melech Israel. We always sing King David live forever. Because he understood the resurrection concept. What was the resurrection concept? Be humble. Ask the question when you're sure about the answer. Connect to the forces. Go into the right environment and stay away from the wrong environment. He knew that secret of immortality. Unfortunately, guys, and I hope I answer the question for the people who ask there. Unfortunately, many times we get lost, like Pharaoh did, into that stupid ego. You know, Pharaoh was a king, and King David was a king. But Pharaoh didn't ask questions, he just answered. Big difference. Pharaoh didn't. Even he get the plagues and suffer, it didn't wake him up. King David get the luxurious life, be the king, he still asks, is it the time? Because one of the things that we need to remember, there's time for everything. There is time. Sometimes you're going to break through a certain thing, but you're not going to see a result. You have to work hard. You have to push. You have to push. You have to push until you start seeing the spark of beginning of success. Immortality is coming when you believe in yourself that it's coming. But if you don't believe in yourself that it's coming, immortality is not coming. If you don't believe that you're worthy of the job that you are doing, or if you're worthy of the partner that you have, or if you're worthy of whatever you have around you, not from the ego point of view, then why should other believe in you? Why should other know that they're? And I'm not talking about ego belief. No, I don't talk about I believe in myself, I'm better. So you've been chosen to a certain mission. And that mission that you've been chosen for, you have to believe you've been chosen for that. Pharaoh, it seemed like he had certainty, right? I mean, after all, he believed in his own truth. He got beat up so bad. Blood, frog, lice, everything. And he still believed, I'm the king, and I'm not going to let my people go. So we can say, wow, Pharaoh has a great certainty, right? But he did. What he was missing is being humble. King David had certainty, but he had something good. Most people who have certainty are not humble. And most people who are humble don't have certainty. A combination of the both, that's immortality. And most people can do it together. When you're certain and somebody comes to tell you that you're wrong, you attack them because you're certain. When you are not sure, you act humble. Are you really humble or you just don't know? Think about it, it's very deep. So, combination of certainty and being humble, that's the most powerful tool. Certainty and still ask questions. You believe that you are the leader for that job, then go ask for that job. Ask for that job. I want it. What are you afraid of? To be rejected. That's good for being humble. Ask for it again. If you believe that you meant to do this job, and then you're going to get crushed, and that's good for being humble. Those two forces, my friend, if you can keep them in the same time, do it at the same time, you will get to the highest level a person can get. Avraham Avinu, Abraham was chosen by God for a job. He took his son to be slaughtered. God tell him, slaughter your son. Abraham tell his arm, I want you to go and slaughter my son. Why you have to talk to his arm? His arm would not do it. He wanted to do it, but his arm would not move. So that's why if you look at the Bible, what it say, Va'ishlach Avraham et yado. Avraham said to the hand, go there. God asked you to go, now you go. The hand will not move. Because Avraham was only Ish Chesed. He was only a merciful person. He can't do bad. So he had to talk to his. But the humbleness of Avraham, while his certainty that he know, let's keep it. Isaac the same. Jacob the same. Joseph to the most part the same. You know, that's the most part because he fell sometimes, but most part. We need to understand that. Rabbi Shimon, wow, the person who wrote the Zohar. How much certainty Rabbi Shimon has? We think sometimes he has ego. Me and my son will change the world. Hey, Rabbi Shimon, no, why you say me? And then if that's not enough for you, he starts like that. You see the angel of death coming to the world, they say, I don't want to see you again here. If you there is at least 10 tzaddikim in the world. So you see that the angel don't go. He said to him, if not 10, there is 5. Not 5 is me and my son. If it's not me and my son, it's me. Is it not like ego? No, certainty. And that's what people do mistake. I see a lot of people go into spiritual group and they think they're humble. It's not humble. It's called a fake humbleness. It's fake humbleness. Humble is, as I say in one of the posts I posted, is when you reach all your goals. Only then you're allowed to be humble. You cannot be humble before you reach all your goals. I know some people reach that much goal and then they work about being humble. That's ego by itself. Because then you want to have compliment for being humble. But what did you accomplish? Nothing. But can I accomplish being humble? It's easy for you to accomplish being humble because you didn't do anything. Humble can only be a task to achieve after you reach all your goal. You did so many things. Now it's time to go down and be small. But when you didn't even go up, what humble? There's no humble there. So humble and certainty, remember, 2 ingredients. If you mix them in the same exact time together, you win everything. Everything, not little, everything. In a relationship, are you acting with certainty? But you don't have to have attitude, certainty. I'm sure that's a restaurant we need to go to. And your partner say, no, okay, let's go somewhere else. What happened to your certainty? No problem. You understand? So you not become less certain because you go with them. You become humble. You gotta understand that if you remember this combination, you win everything. Let's go. Just last thing. It's a way to change our destiny. How do we do it? How do we jump from level to level? Please.
And the rivers shall bring forth frogs in swarms, and these will go up and come into your house. Rabbi Shimon opened the discussion, saying, a voice was heard in Ramah, lamentation and bitter weeping, Rachel weeping for her children. Come and see, this passage has been explained in many places, but this passage is difficult, for it says, Rachel weeping for her children. Yet only Joseph and Benjamin were the children of Rachel, and no more, while Leah had her 6 tribes. So why did Rachel weep and not Leah?
Okay, so the question is very obvious. Leah has 6 children, Rachel has 2 kids. It should say Leah cry for her children. But it says only Rachel cry for her children. It should be Leah is the one who cried. And he continue.
He answers, but it has been said, it is written, and Leah's eyes were weak. Why were they weak? Because every day she would go out.
It should say soft, not weak. Rakot means soft, yes.
Because every day she would go out to the crossroads and ask about Asa. They would tell her about the actions of that wicked man, and she feared she would fall into his lot, so she wept daily until her eyes became soft or weak.
Yes. What happened? Leah was meant to be the soulmate of Esau. As Rachel was the soulmate of Jacob. Because Rachel and Leah were twin, Jacob and Esau were a twin. That's the match. So Leah say, if that's the man, like some people who ask that question, how do you change your destiny? How do you change your destiny? Well, what is this? I mean, can you change the destiny that meant to be? That meant to be yours. That meant to be yours. She checked on him to see if he's a spiritual guy. You know, it's like the famous story with the Baal Shem Tov. I'm sure you heard it. You know, the Baal Shem Tov one time he asked God, show me who the person who sits next to me in the Garden of Eden. So, okay, they show him. He's the guy who is the tailor. You know, the tailor of town. I said, tailor? I'm a guy who studied Torah all day long, and I'm going to have in the Garden of Eden next to me a tailor? What's going on? So you know what? He dressed differently, and he go check this tailor to see maybe he's a unique tailor. Maybe he's like do magic of Kabbalah. So he go in and hide, and he see, did this tailor work? Not spiritual so much, but pray very quickly. You know, nothing special. After 2 weeks, he's like not happy about that result. So he asks God again, who is the person next to me in the Garden of Eden? Is he the tailor? So yes, this guy is the guy next to you in the Garden of Eden. And normally, the guy who's next to you in the Garden of Eden is the same level as you are. But Hashem said, okay, I'm going to commit to follow him, to see what he's doing. Follow him from morning, nothing special about this guy. Then he started to realize when he eat lunch, he disappeared for 1 hour and then he come back. So maybe, you know what, I will go after him to see what he's doing. That's the last hope. Maybe he's doing something spiritual. So he follow him, and he go in those days, it used to be, when you go above rivers, it used to be bridges that moved, that made of wire. So you see that gentleman putting his lunchbox next to the river, he go in the middle of the bridge, and he starts shaking the bridge like crazy. He said, dear God, this is your chance. If you want to get rid of me, if you don't want me, now it's your chance. Because if I'm still alive, I'm going to eat from your food. And that means that you allow me to eat from your food, God. And that happened every day. Then he went back, washed his hand, did the Suda, did the Amotzi, and ate. The Baal Shem Tov started crying, said, oh my God, this guy's ready to give his life away to make sure that maybe he's not even deserving the food he's eating. What the elevation. Leah. Changing a destiny, that's a real immortality that we talk about in the first verse. You want to know how a stick that is dry come back to life? Leah cried. She never married Esau. In the end, we all know the story. She married Jacob, but she cried. She cried so bad. They said, Master of the world, I know that's what you want to put me with, but maybe there is a way of change of destiny. I will do whatever it takes, just change my destiny. And he continued and say, the Holy One.
The Holy One, blessed be he, said, you are weeping to merit that righteous man Jacob, and not be the lot of that wicked man. Upon your life, your sister will rise at the crossroads and weep over the exile of Israel. But you will be inside, namely in the cave of Machpelah, and will not weep over them. Rachel will weep over the exile of Israel.
So what happened as a result? After the both die, Rachel is in the road crying for all the people who fall spiritually. Leah, she did her crying portion. She doesn't need to cry anymore. She needs to be next to her husband in the Machpelah. What do we learn from that? Does that mean we need to cry all day long? How strong is your desire? How strong is your desire to accomplish your mission? How strong is your desire to resurrect yourself? How strong is your desire to get out of Egypt? How strong it is. How crazy you are. How fanatic you are to get out of misery. If you don't have that craziness that's controlling you, I will tell you, not only you're not going to make it, you will find a way not to make it. Whatever goal that you put out there, you have to be obsessed with that goal. And hopefully the goal that you put there is spiritual goal. Hopefully the goal that you put there is like something that can make our universe better. Leaders, going back to what we start with, leaders of the world, it's good leaders, it's people who obsess with making the universe a better place to be for everybody. Leaders are not busy looking good. If the leader is busy looking good, for one purpose it can be good, so people can believe in them, so they can help them. But if there is other purpose, what King David did when he saw the Torah, do you know? He used to roll in the ground, do flip-flop, and sing some song. His wife at that time, her name is Michal, the daughter of Saul, King Saul. She said, I'm ashamed to be married to a man like that everybody call him the king. That's what she said, I'm ashamed. And he said, why? I'm dancing in front of the kings of all kings. I'm not the king. I was just chose to be the manager of this lifetime. So they chose me to call me a king, but I'm not the king. What am I? Nobody. Just a flesh and meat and nothing. That's why I'm dancing in front of the Torah, because I know the Torah represents God. So of course I will dance. Of course I will lose my ego in front of the Torah. It said that the angel at that moment closed the womb of Michal. She could never have children after that. And the angel say, a woman who don't believe in resurrection, who don't believe that a person can make himself nothing and be fanatic about the cause of the Creator, the cause of the light, close the ability to give birth. A woman has the ability to give birth. What is that ability to give birth? It's very similar to resurrection. But for a woman to believe, For a woman to believe she can give birth, for a woman to believe she can give life, a new life to the universe, a woman has to be truly fanatic about it, especially after giving birth first time. Because the first time you have pain included, you have suffering, you have chaos around you. Giving birth is not an easy task. It's terrible, it's tough. But it says that together with the baby that's born, the memory of the woman go down. That's what it's written. So when she holds the baby, everything is gone. Gone, like it never happened. And then she's ready for the next baby. It's fanatic, it's crazy. But that's a formula, my friend, of immortality. Formula of success has to be depending on what? On us and you and me. Making sure that we change the universe. Changing the universe. B'ezrat Hashem, that this week we win the Pharaoh within. We become the Moses and Aaron we need to be. We don't need to go to the chaos and plagues, 7 plagues, to get out of Egypt. That we develop this desire and resurrect ourselves for a better life. That's what I want to tell you. So close your eyes for just 1 minute. And let's hope that this week we can resurrect at least 7 people each. You know, to meet 7 people that seem dying, whatever you meet them in a supermarket, a car, restaurant, resurrect them. Put some good words into them that you can see the smiling, the coming back to life. And remember, smile or happiness is the first sign of resurrection. Thank you. Is there any question there, David? No. All right, guys. Thank you for coming in the rain. Thank you for driving all the way. I know it's dangerous for California people. Thank you.